Hi everyone, it is Wednesday, April the 8th, and as you can see behind me, things have calmed down for the moment weather-wise after showers and storms rolling through much of Kentucky and the eastern part of our state in the viewing area as well. High winds, hail, as were expected, did happen and left behind. Certainly some signs to see. Minor damages thus far so far that I am aware of. But we've got more to come during the overnight in the next round as a cold front continues to march this way. We'll take a look ahead and look back at the past few hours in just a few moments weather-wise. We've got a couple of things that I want to talk to you about that's coming out in tomorrow's edition of the Sagersville Independent One. I'll go into a little depth, a story I want everyone to read tomorrow, everyone of all ages. We'll also have, of course, an update locally, just a brief one on the COVID-19, as there's not a whole lot of new information there. The governor's update, a few other bits and pieces of information, and some other stories as well before I leave you for, once again, what could be a stormy evening. Real quickly, just a few facts as we have them at this hour. The number of positive coronavirus cases here in the United States crossed the 400,000 threshold today. And of course, this follows yesterday, which was the deadliest day to date for the COVID-19 pandemic. Johns Hopkins University estimates well more than 401,000 people here in the United States have been stricken with COVID-19. The daily death toll for the United States yesterday nearly hit 2,000 at 1,939. We expect today's to surpass that milestone of 2,000. According to Johns Hopkins, the death toll in the United States also getting close to the 13,000 threshold as well. We know that several people across the country have recovered from the virus. According to Johns Hopkins, in a most recent update, they believe worldwide 308,000 people have recovered from COVID-19 as of today. There are other studies and experts which believe that that number could actually be higher. In the United States, they believe that 21,000 have recovered thus far from COVID-19. As for stimulus checks, still in the making. Earlier today, payments via the stimulus package were said to be coming in the next week or weeks. We have an update for you at this time. According to the Internal Revenue Service, they have increased and stepped up the process and now say that early next week those direct deposit checks should start hitting bank accounts. And the first could be as soon as Monday or Tuesday. Actual printed or paper checks will start to go into the mail on April the 20th, and they say they're very near, only days away from having a website or portal where you can go and submit your information if you have not filed tax returns in the past few years, and they do not have a direct deposit link for you, but that also to be made accessible very, very soon. Toyota, not surprisingly, announced that they are extending production suspension at all of their North American manufacturing facilities through at least Monday, May the 4th, adding another 2 weeks to that shutdown. And not coronavirus related, Bernie Sanders, just to let you know, suspended and called it quits for his Democratic presidential campaign today, which seems to pave the way for Joe Biden to officially be, of course, the Democratic nominee. Citing that Biden had a lead of more than 300 delegates at this time, and that there was no way, and it being insurmountable, that they could overcome that deficit. Sanders calling it quits for his campaign. With that said, locally, I have just a couple of things to announce in updates from our local officials in checking with McGoffin County Judge Executive and local mayor and public health director Pete Shepard. Nothing new to report. We do have just a statement from the mayor saying that, again, he wishes everyone to only turn to the media, factual, the governor, the Department of Health, and officials for any information. He says that indeed yesterday and even today again, his office and that of the judge's office bombarded and covered up with calls about confirmed cases or pending cases here in McGoffin County. Still tests being done daily, as I've reported to you since they first started being done. But he says of some folks on Facebook, actually family members, possibly even, he says of some that were tested, just saying that tests had been done, and then that information snowballing into what has been perceived as positive reports forthcoming or confirmed here in McGoffin County. I expect them to come at any time, to be perfectly honest. However, to date, the mayor and health director a few moments ago confirmed that there are still no positive cases in Magoffin County, and none for anyone who lives in Magoffin County being tested elsewhere at this time. I'll have a daily update. My fingers are crossed and hoping for the best. Maybe we can continue that trend. Other counties, of course, still continuing across Kentucky to see their numbers increase. No new cases do I know of in any of our neighboring counties that already have positive results. We are awaiting the governor's announcement, and I'll have that for you in just a few moments. Your Sagersville Lee's Famous Recipe wants to remind you that you can call ahead, prepay, or drive through, and rest assured that we are taking every precaution possible to keep our customers and our employees healthy, happy, and fed. And thank you for your patience and your patronage during these most difficult times. And to help make them a little easier, we're offering $5 off our 16-piece family pack and 20-piece family pack meal deals. That's 16 or 20 pieces of chicken any way you like it, and all the sides to feed all the family, all $5 off. All you need is the coupon out of this week's edition of the Sagersville Independent, and they're giving away free issues of the Sagersville Independent with every purchase. It's that simple. Only at your Sagersville Lee's Famous Recipe. Come to Parkway Pharmacy in Sagersville and get your prescriptions filled, your over-the-counter medications, and immune system boosters, all from the safety and comfort of your own vehicle, either in their drive-thru or with their new curbside service. You can also call ahead or just download the MyGNP app, that's Good Neighbor Pharmacy, and refill and manage your prescriptions right from your device, helping you and yours stay healthy and safe. Parkway Pharmacy in Sagersville, 349-4400. There is never a good time for a breakdown. They will happen, and your car at some point is going to need some repairs and maintenance. And Black Smoke Performance is open and here with professional, fast, safe service. And just in time for warm weather, they now have certified full air conditioning, diagnostics, and repair to keep you cool in whatever you drive. Black Smoke Performance, 349-8785. Car accidents don't stop. Accidents at work don't stop. Disability and SSI cases don't stop. Your legal needs and concerns don't stop for the coronavirus, and neither does McFarland and Tinker. They are open, able to schedule appointments per CDC guidelines, and always available for telephone and video conferences. Please, be safe, be smart, stay home, and don't let your legal needs fall victim to the pandemic. Call McFarland and Tinker and let them take care of them for you. Times have changed, now and suddenly more than ever. Our lobbies might be closed, but the Sagersville National Bank wants to remind our customers that we're still here, we're still working to provide our community with as many services as possible. During this time especially, we encourage all of our customers to take advantage of all the options we offer to manage your accounts from the convenience of your home. 24-hour internet banking and bill pay, 24-hour telephone banking, remote deposit, automatic loan payments, and wire transfers are also still available to our customers. And we're still here during our normal hours. Mondays through Fridays, the main drive-thru is open from 8 until 3, and the branch drive-thru is open from 8 until 5. And the branch drive-thru is also open on weekends, Saturdays 8 until noon, with ATMs available 24/7 at both locations. Getting the best deal on the best tires with the best service has never been easier. Just log on to ConleyTire.net, check out the latest rebates, sales, and promotions, pick out the tires you want, and email, call, or come by for huge savings from the family who's been proudly serving the area for over 32 years. Conley Tire in Staffordsville, 297-2424. Well, the cancellations and postponements will continue for who knows how long, and some sad but expected news today from some friends of ours who have been servicing the Magoffin County area and its people for over 50 years. It's a summer program which we try to sit down and focus on each and every summer, and we did a pretty good job of that last summer here on Your News Today in the Sagersville Independent. But sadly, the Appalachian Service Project will not be able to spend a summer here in the mountains, and it's their first time ever. I got an update today from one of its members that we spoke to just months ago when they were here, well, literally this time last year. The Christian ministry has helped over 19,000 families with the assistance of over 450,000 volunteers like these young people and many we have seen come to Magoffin County during the summer months for decades and literally generations, 51 years in service to the Appalachian region, that being Tennessee and Kentucky and North Carolina and Virginia and West Virginia. But sad but not unexpected news coming from Laura Kelly and Aaron Andrews Shearer and Christina Rolls, a couple of which we had on the program here last year, saying that at this time, based on the recommendations from national health officials, they've had to make the difficult decision to suspend their summer volunteer hosting until August the 1st. And they're still hopeful to get it in, but putting it off till August the 1st, and I think we'll have to call that a wait and see. So this means they're not going to host summer volunteers for the first time in that 51-year history. And they call it one of the hardest decisions they've ever had to make. But they're still eager to bring resources and support any way they can. And they want to know your needs. And they have an email address right there in the bottom of your screen to reach out to them. Email them at connect@ASP for Appalachia Service Project home.org, and they ask you to let them know of any ways that you can imagine ASP supporting your community during this time. They might not be able to complete home repairs in your county this summer, but there are other ways that they can help, and they say that they've created a resource bank on their website to connect homeowners to additional organizations around their service area that may be able to help with certain needs. Once again, email them at connect@asphome.org and let them know what you think they might be able to help you with, or who they might be able to get you in touch with that may be able to help you with what you need help with. And I want to thank Christina Rolls and everyone at ASP for reaching out to us and letting us know that they're thinking about us and that they're hopeful to see us sometime maybe after the summer. So as I've been telling everyone and keeping you up to date, to everyone with the Sackersville Independent working remotely from home, and it is actually going quite well. The Sackersville Independent will not stop for the coronavirus. We will have news that you're only going to find there each and every Thursday morning, bright and early, which will be the case tomorrow. With that said, I had to spend, well, it took me several hours this morning. My one sole duty for the paper this week was, because it couldn't be done remotely, is to go through our old pages, our old papers, previous issues dating back to 1930 here in-house, and find some material appropriate for this week for our historical page brought to you weekly by Grover Arnett, attorney at law. I struggled for hours looking for something maybe Easter-related, something this time of year, going back through many decades of papers, and really just didn't find anything of a great interest until I came upon one story. And I want you to make it a must-read tomorrow. The headline that drew me in was a report that was published in the Sackersville Independent decades ago about a retiring doctor. That was what originally drew me in. And then as I read through, that doctor was the only one in the flu epidemic of 1918, the only doctor in Magoffin County who wasn't sickened by that deadly flu. And he continued to care for all of Magoffin County and even all of the doctors in some very extreme conditions. Well, certainly my attention was captured, as I hope yours will be when the paper comes out tomorrow. My editor, Heather Oney, did a feature on Doc Skaggs several years before I bought the paper, but we didn't know this one existed until I came across it today. And it was actually published this week back in 1952 after Dr. D.R. Skaggs had retired. And in doing so, had served prior to that Magoffin County and its people for over 4 decades. It is a marvelous story, and it relates to today for a very important and significant reason. It goes into detail about how he was born in Lawrence County in 1907, then graduated U of L, and then came to Magoffin County to practice medicine, moving to Royalton at a time before the railroad even existed, meaning that he traveled by either horse or on foot, often wearing one horse out and then going home to get another before the day was through. There are also some details in the story about what I will just call some interesting experiences, home amputations, home surgeries that he performed. But also in this story, what immediately drew my attention was how in 1918, when the flu epidemic was ravaging the world and the nation, it left Doc Skaggs as the only physician in the county who didn't come down with that flu, and he had to treat all of Magoffin County, even the other doctors who were down sick. and how during that pandemic he would leave home and not return for 2 to 3 weeks, spending nights wherever he could, often staying and eating with those he was treating, borrowing their horses to get to the next patient and neighbor. Sometimes during that epidemic, finding as many as 3 people from one family dead at a time in their home. In harsh weather conditions, he found himself literally frozen to his horse. After the pandemic, after the railroad came through Magoffin County, he had his own railway motor car, and he continued to treat those involved in everything from gunfights to lumber mill accidents, delivering an unknown number of babies, as many as 3 a day. I couldn't help but be drawn to Doc Skaggs, who I've heard before, but not in this much detail, and especially when you take into consideration his service to Magoffin County during the epidemic of 1918, and how, of course, we're drawing many comparisons, either similarities or non-similarities, to that and the COVID pandemic. It really makes for an interesting read for anyone of all ages, and I mean anyone. We hope you pick up a copy as soon as possible. Indeed, a great story and some very significant timing, I think, to say the least. Also, tomorrow, even though sports aren't happening, our sports writer has done a very good job of keeping us up to date and interested in the sports, and we'll have that tomorrow as well. A host of sports information for Magoffin County High School basketball boys being honored. A Magoffin County athlete leading her conference in college in wins. The Kentucky High School Athletic Association Hall of Fame banquet rescheduled. And a great write-up on a young lady who was a Magoffin County graduate and an athlete here locally. Then she went on to college and also as an athlete, and now, or most recently, as a high school coach, has her team ranked in the top 50 for last year. It's a good story. Also, Heather Oney has spent much of the past several days since last week speaking with as many representatives, pastors of local churches that she could find in regards to how they're doing, how they're coping, and how they are going about getting to everyone in their congregation and others each and every Sunday and throughout the week. And a lot of other great news. We hope to pick up a paper tomorrow, a great read. And let's face it, we've all got a little more time on our hands. Most everyone, not all, has a little more time on our hands. Pick up a paper. They're free at your Lee's Famous Recipe whenever you come through and get an order. And if you just come through the drive-thru and want a newspaper, I'll see that they give you one there as well so that we can reach everyone. We know that they're not available as readily available as they normally are due to, of course, a lot of stores closed. You can't go inside lobbies. Great time to call and get a subscription if you can. We'll deliver it straight to you via the post office, or we'll try to get it to you any other way as well. I'll be right back.
With the power to bring us together even when we're far apart, we keep families connected. We are you. We are Appalachian Wireless.
A message from the Fraser's Prater Drug Store and Seasonal Shop families. Prater Drug wants you to know that you can now call, use Facebook, or use our Refill RX app to get your prescriptions refilled. And the drugstore also has designated curbside pickup parking in front of and behind the store. Simply call 349-3135. And at the Seasonal Shop, they're still posting new arrivals and taking orders with free shipping on most everything anywhere in the entire United States. And they're offering scheduled curbside pickup. Just message them on Facebook, Instagram, or email at seasonalshop@yahoo.com. Fraser's Prater Drug Store and the Seasonal Shop says let's all do what we can to help and protect our neighbors and loved ones. If your spring projects include gravel, rock, sand, or drainage pipe, your dollar will go farther at Tomahawk Feed and Farm Supply here in Sayersville. It's always in stock and ready for pickup and delivery. And now there's 2 locations for all of your feed and farm needs. Tomahawk has the region's largest inventory and lowest prices on all pet and livestock feed, gates, fencing, and everything your farm needs. In Sayersville off 114 at Red Light number 4, and in West Liberty on Liberty Road behind the Ford store. Tomahawk Feed and Farm Supply. All Pro understands that we are all just trying to make it through these most difficult of times, and they want you to know that they're here to help with any repairs or projects that you need done. Big or small, doesn't matter. They've got 0% financing for 18 months and long-term financing if you need it. If you need anything from a new gutter to a new house or a new garage, call All Pro Gutter Works and Construction, 349-9999. Up next, a brief but important, as they always are, especially when they have birthdays, community calendar brought to you by Magoffin Farm Bureau. Yes, a birthday wish for now 18-year-old Matthew. That's Matthew Cole smiling as he's now celebrating 18 years. Happy birthday to the son of Lenny and Debbie House Cole, who want to wish him the very happiest of birthdays, as well as a lot of friends and family. Happy 18th, Matthew Cole. Happy birthday to you. And that's all I got for calendar announcements tonight, brought to you by the Magoffin County Funeral Home, except for a reminder, if you've got an announcement for your church group, organization, or birthday or anniversary, tell me. I'll tell everyone else about it. In funeral service announcements this Wednesday, Brenda Gay Jenkins Coots, 56 of East Point, Kentucky, passed away earlier today at her home. Survived by her husband, Lonnie Coots. Arrangements are incomplete at this time, but to be announced soon by the Magoffin County Funeral Home. She's survived by her husband, Lonnie, and son, Adam Carty of Sayersville, as well as 2 grandchildren and a host of family. In addition to her parents, Brenda is preceded in death by a brother, Jerry Jenkins. We're now told that graveside services for the immediate family, however, will be held tomorrow from the Lloyd Jenkins Cemetery on Improvement Fork here in Sayersville. Once again, Brenda Gay Jenkins Coots of East Point, 56, will be laid to rest following private services tomorrow. Magoffin County Heating, Cooling, and Refrigeration with professional, licensed, and certified commercial and residential service technicians that can maintain and repair all manufacturers with new and old installation and financing available. Serving Magoffin, Morgan, Lawrence, Martin, Johnson, Floyd, and Breathitt counties. Magoffin County Heating, Cooling, and Refrigeration, 349-1058 or 225-6779. Creekside Stitching and Feed is the place to go for all of your custom embroidery needs. Shirts, caps, jackets, and more. And they've got the best prices on value pack dog food, blue ribbon beef mix, kickin' chicken, and shell and cracked corn. And premium quality gates, hay rings, and bunk feeders, plus metal carports and garages as low as $1,400 installed. For all of your embroidery, feed, and farm supplies, Creekside Stitching and Feed. 1 mile up Bear Branch off of Route 30. Before we talk about the chance for some more rough weather during the overnight, Governor Andy Beshear with his 5 o'clock address.
This is one of the times where, well, we got to breathe and know that everything we've talked about expecting, is just what's happening. We are in our escalation. We talked about the last 3 days being good on the averages, but not making sure that we draw any further conclusions from it. Today, we have our largest number of total new cases that we have had, which is 204 new cases. That brings our official total from the state, up to 1,346. We have new cases, and remember, when things are reported at different times, lead to different numbers by the day, but typically they come together within a 24-hour period. We have 21 new cases from Davis, 19 from Fayette, 19 from Hopkins, 17 from Kenton, 15 from Jefferson, 14 from Campbell, 11 from Pulaski, 5 from Muhlenberg, 3 from Hardin, Henderson, Jackson, McCracken, 2 from Adair, Boone, Grays, Jessamine, Laurel, Madison, Marshall, Ohio, and Oldham, Rockcastle, Russell, Shelby, and Warren, and 1 from Ballard, Bullitt, Butler, Caldwell, Clark, Crittenden, Franklin, Grant, Hancock, Harrison, Hart, Henry, Logan, Marion, Mason, McCreary, McLean, Nelson, Pendleton, Scott, Taylor, Todd, Union, Washington, Whitley, and Woodford. And then we have some that are unconfirmed. Again, it's everywhere. And that's all that this is saying. If you've heard the first one in your county, and I can pick out a couple here that I think are, it's been there before now. This is just the first confirmed case. That's why all of us have been practicing social distancing, I hope, regardless of where we are.
That is 204 new cases, our largest day to date total. He went through the list of counties, one of the longest lists of counties that we've heard thus far. Still no mention of, for example, Morgan County, which I reported to you, as we know, had a positive case days ago. I'm still trying to get clarification on that. Regardless, those 204 new cases were followed by an announcement of 8 more Kentuckians which have lost their lives. I believe all of which either from Christian or Callaway or Jefferson counties, all either in their latter 70s or 80s age-wise. Nevertheless, bringing the total to 73 Kentuckians who've lost their lives as a result or part of, at least, the COVID-19 pandemic. A few other things real quickly that he mentioned: an executive order, which now, as Sagersville, Magoffin County had already done, and many other communities had already done, which will limit 1 person per household per store being allowed to go in that store at one time. Also, door-to-door solicitation for anything also has been banned, stopping the honeybee effect, as many businesses or other services have used that as an alternative, but that also continuing the spread, now no longer an option. Those extra benefits for unemployment from the federal government to the tune of the additional $600, he believes will start being received or going out as soon as tomorrow, per an update from the federal government. On a much lighter note, he also mentioned, to all the little ones out there wondering, that, just for clarification, the Easter Bunny has been deemed an essential employee and part of our livelihood and will not be impacted by any travel restrictions, and therefore is expected to be seen, or, well, at least evidence thereof seen, on Easter Sunday. Long-term health care facilities, one of his final subjects, related to 21 nursing homes across Kentucky that have been affected. Those that have together have had 72 residents confirmed to test positive, 35 staff, and a total of 13 deaths associated with those 21 healthcare facilities, which are an important part of their focus at this point. Now, in other important news coverage, before we leave you for this evening, an eye to keep a look on the weather is what we are suggesting to everyone. After this is some of the weather that some folks in eastern Kentucky, not necessarily Magoffin County, saw earlier today. These pictures actually from just outside the Moorhead area. A viewer has a family member in that area, and they sent these pictures to us as they were taken just earlier this afternoon under one of the tornado warnings for that part of eastern Kentucky. They got hammered by torrential rain and hail all at the same time. As you can see there, I believe, what was their driveway, and then their back porch. I don't know how deep that hail measures, but measuring in size of a half an inch or maybe even a little bit larger, and certainly a considerable accumulation on the back porch. No reports of any major damage. We are told that a funnel cloud was sighted in that area and may have taken the tops out of some trees, but other than that, no confirmation of any tornadoes or any major damage as of right now. But definitely a stormy afternoon, which may be followed by a stormy night. this radar showing you what is coming to some degree. You have to go far to the west and a bit to our north to find it, but coming out of Missouri, Illinois, and making its way downward into Kentucky and the eastern part will be another round of storms, another line possibly even forming a little bit later in front of that larger line to the far left of your screen. During the overnight, we expect to see another round of storms following the ones which tore through here earlier today, hitting some folks harder than others. So you will need to, over the course of the next several hours, enjoy the peace and quiet for now, but be on the lookout and monitor the situation carefully, as we could be in for another line that could develop during the next several evening and overnight hours, per the National Weather Service and your Licking Valley RECC outlook. With that said, showers and thunderstorms continuing to be likely before 3 a.m. and maybe even lingering thereafter, and look for the return of some possibly severe storms as well. A low ultimately of around 53 degrees tonight, and a wind out of the west 3 to 5 on average, so a calm wind except for what you might experience in any thunderstorms that could roll through. Rainfall amounts on average maybe a quarter of an inch, unless, again, like the wind, you get underneath one of those thunderstorms. Tomorrow for your Thursday, showers likely, thunderstorms as well possible in the morning early. Breezy conditions throughout much of the afternoon, winds out of the northwest 11 to 28 mile per hour gusts. New precipitation amounts, maybe a tenth of an inch, except for any of those early thunderstorms that look to be on their way out relatively early on your Thursday. I think by the early morning hours, we'll see those on their way out of here, and then leaving us with partly cloudy skies for the rest of your Thursday. Winds will linger thereafter, down to about 7 to 18 mile per hour gusts out of the west under partly cloudy skies, and then things will gladly and welcomely calm down for Friday. 51 sunny degrees, winds noticeable 5 to 10 to 24 miles per hour out of the north-northwest. Friday night, cold down to 32. That's frost lingering into your Saturday morning as a result. And for Saturday, more sunshine, upper 50s at 59 degrees, mostly sunny, and that will be a short-lived run of some sunshine, because I think by Saturday night, shower chances roll right back in, mainly after about 9, 10 o'clock Saturday night. A slight chance at 20% and a low of 42, but that's just a prelude of showers likely and thunderstorms possible on your Sunday, early on your Sunday as well. Temperatures will climb up to the 65-degree mark or so, but with that, once again, showers, possible thunderstorms for the latter half of your weekend. 52 Sunday night, and still showers and thunderstorms in the picture. Monday, a 40% chance of those showers and storms, still mostly cloudy, and 63 by Tuesday. I think we might see a little more sunshine return, and temperatures will start to go back the other way, down to the 50s. And before I say goodnight, let me say this, please. I think it goes without saying, but please keep your eye on the weather for the next several hours and during the overnight as that cold front approaches. We want to see you all back here safe and sound on tomorrow's program. Good night, and thank you for watching.